Hello all, Dr. Fox back here with you, and I suppose we should look at the elephant in the room, if you will, in a couple of minutes. A couple of things I've been up to. Let's just get into this, shan't we? Dr. Fox back here with your weekend update. We heard the big elephant in the room, if you will, last Wednesday. This dropped. I'm going to put the link in there. I think at least I feel anyway that Hazelnutty covered that pretty good. And I know those who want to get out their battle axes and get ready for a fight, instead of us going into that Neanderthal way of anger. I know a lot of folks are angry about this circumstance. Again, we'll put the time signatures in there. That way you can just kind of, if you're kind of tired of hearing all this chaos, I think you can just flip past this and be done with it and kind of decide where you want to go from there. I know no matter what I say, there's going to be retaliation no matter what direction you look at with this. And I think, at least for myself, I'm not gonna. I just feel like, in my experience, looking at, we have to kind of step back before we want to grab the battle axe and start some kind of war here going on between genders or sexism or things like that, I think. And I think what we want to just do in today's episode is just try to step back a little bit. It's not me defending the other side of it. It's not me not taking a stand. It's not all the things that that some of the first people want to say those jokes, and then it leads to more anger, and then the frustration explodes from there and just turns into this big chaotic mess, I think. And they had this big lawsuit with Blizzard that has dropped last week, for those that were wondering what this whole solemn circumstance that I'm talking about. I just know, for me personally, as a tool, I'm not calling somebody a tool. I'm saying what I use here is a tool for us to step back and kind of think about how we're trying to live and function each day. How do we wake up and breathe and get through the chaos? And it's really hard because a lot of people want to just, when it comes to any tool, if you will, or any kind of leisure or business model or anything, I think we see a lot of this in the industry. And I think I'm not covering any bullet points that have already been said countless times, or to just ring dead horse, if you will. But I think if you fully boycott something, what about those hard individuals, including the women that are still working there, even if the paperwork shows otherwise? And I'm not quite stepping aside yet. It's like, if we use history as an example, I know a lot of individuals would say, back in the day, they would say, because of the accusations against Michael Jackson, for instance, they would say, I'm not going to listen to their music, I'm going to boycott it. I listen to it as an artist. I don't reflect and go, oh my God, this horrible human being. Not that I'm saying that this person is horrible. I'm saying what the aspects of how this is projected. And they'll boycott. I still listen to his music. It's not about what he did, or about whether he did or didn't do something. And I think in this case we see that even when it goes through a whole hearing and a whole trial, because who is really saying the truth and who's not, and then it makes us sit here and question all those sides of how the justice scale, if you will kind of go, and is someone more here, is someone more there, is someone more like right here, or someone just stepped off of the scale and completely avoided this like the plague, I think. And for now anyway, I think as a leisure moment, not that I'm trying to play into something, not that I have renewed my subscription at any point recently. A lot of times I find myself just letting it lapse for a little bit, and then maybe when another 6-month option comes up, I may or may not at that point. But there's no guarantee. To be honest, I haven't even been playing this for quite some time. I think I got on last week, and we've just been messing around in some of Classic. Our guild has for some time now, and I might pop in on the main character and do a little Korthia, things like that. But I think what I'm trying to just get at here, I think, is just we want to, before we start taking in everything that we hear, because whether someone on the internet, even like myself, who might be speaking out about something, we have to step back. Not all of that will reflect what's really truly going on here. And because we're not directly involved in, say, the family members, or a direct family member, or a piece of a family member, or some sort of long off shot from someone involved in this, a lot of people just gonna go, I'm gonna put the quintessential blind eye on that. And I think I'll add those links. We'll kind of leave it at that. Yes. Plus, so see, we needed a smile to get us through that chaos. In the meantime, many are suffering out there, like myself, on a lot of other aspects as well. And no, I'm not making this about myself or any of that stuff. People like to quickly judge or jump to a conclusion about these things. And I'm sure some will say, yeah, but Dr. Fox, some of your points that you brought up can also be pointed in said direction. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm trying to get at here. I'm trying to just have us have a adult conversation and be a little more open. And I think some would argue the aspect of if the individuals just got their promotions, then none of this chaos would come up. And we know that's not that simple. We know there's always this gray area no matter what you do. And I think with me sitting here trying to harp on all these angles of it, I think we're going to kind of leave it. Miss Morgan, what are you doing, honey? She keeps scratching every once in a while at the vent. I don't know if she's hearing something down there because of their acute toned hearing, or whether it needs to be a concern or she's doing it for a whole... I can sit here and list aspects of reasoning why she's doing it. She's scratching at my little vents, and she'll do that. Sometimes she does it for attention. Some will say, others will think that there's something else deeper going on there. She does have some psychological struggles. Some nerve damage. That struggles. And yes, I know. See, now she's howling for Momma, and she was quiet as a mouse just before I got on camera, and I set that camera up so you guys could see her in the cat cam up there, and she jumped down and she's decided to get crazy active, and now she's howling. She's doing all this, and I hate to start my broadcast all over again today. We know she will eventually come down. I know some would say, oh my goodness, Dr. Fox, go give her the attention she so deserves, even though I give her constant attention, and Goddess forbid, you know. So I think with that, we're going to kind of leave it there, and we'll leave individuals on their own discretion how this is going to play out, if you will. And for now, I'm just going to move to my next topic, and I just wanted to just quickly just kind of look at a couple of little pieces of some other things that we're working on as well. For those that might have noticed last week that there was some light brightness to some of my fingers, I don't have the money for French manicure. Now, I did go to school. Those that know me know that I did go to school for cosmetology. There she is, Miss Pressy. Hey, Miss Pressy. And I did do a French manicure, but as always happens, usually 4 or 5 days in, sometimes 3 or 4. I'm a pretty active gal, and I was organizing, and I felt so good to finally get pretty much everything put away at this point. But there's always a part of me like, oh no, maybe I should be prepped for packing in case, God forbid, something happens and I gotta leave soon. At this point, I also set up my Zelda chess set over there because I wanted to have that out, and I'm sure she's going to just play with the characters and push them around. Here we go. Hi, honey. Did you pick up that Momma needed some loving? Huh? I did dig out my little, not dig out, but like I got my cabinet, the 12-in-1 legacy cabinets in the corner. finally get them set up. And I was, if those that check out my Instagram, I posted a couple of high scores, at least that I could hit. I'm sure there's many people that could outdo those numbers I had, and I have learned how to tweak some of the settings, so that's not normal. That's not a normal setting, because it's hard to get that high for me, even on normal. My hand-eye coordination is struggling with my brain injury, but it felt kind of good. I literally had assembled them, and I hadn't really done much. I know I used to do videos when I was going to assemble those, and then the video didn't work out, and I remember getting some horrible negative comment like, she didn't even show the assembly, she just, like, you know what, I wasn't saying it that way. That was, again, being misunderstood, as always. Many of us tend to have get misunderstood by something. I've been kind of piddling with that a little bit, but I was just trying to feel a microscopic bit pretty on how, and of course everybody's own beauty is skin deep in how they perceive oneself. But I had done those, and this hand is still holding up fairly well. It's not my dominant. My dominant hand had already had a couple of cracks when I was straightening the house out, and some would have said, do it after you had straightened the house. But I did it, and then I don't think I straightened the house for a couple of days later. So they lasted me a couple of days, and then they started to break. And I have that. I put that stuff anyway. I'd gone to school for cosmetology, so I was trying to save some money by just doing it for myself. And we know there's sometimes when they say do it yourself, you're not really going to get the same quality as having someone else do it. But then sometimes you do, and there's all that other aspect of it. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that I still have half going on here, and just some other things I'm doing outside of the game. I think I had just pretty much popped in on Tuesday to do like the Korthia Daily. I think now all my gear armor is about item level 213 pretty much. And then I did try the raid out. Sorry, cat hair again. When she was sitting here. I did try the raid out, that new raid, and then I did have a quest that took me to the market one that's sort of out in the middle of almost nowhere. There's this blank area where it takes you out to, and there's another new. It's the market dungeon that comes available as well. There was a little quest line that ran to that, and I was just doing my daily Korthia, my weekly Korthia, just to get my 2 renown points. Have some of you all left because of the chaos, and some of you left because of other reasons. Have some of you left for all the other aspects going on, or if they're just because life has taken over and taken you away from that as well. Feel free to leave that in a comment as well. I am excited to get my Anywhere AirTV in the first week. It seemed to work great, but now it's like I can hear the little hard drive going. I was hoping, and I should have expected for that price, and I did my research, but I can hear running parts in it. I thought it was like more of an SSD put in there, but it's not. It's the older spin type, and we know when they have a mechanical issue like that, it can spin and also not be as fast. And I know you can't expect a lot, but I got a decent deal. There was a deal that comes with like an antenna, comes with AirTV Anywhere, 2 months of Sling. I don't normally do Sling. It came with that. We set that up. I'm going to be turning it off anyway. It's just like right now it's kind of neat with the on-demand. Plus it lets me put my on-air. And that's been my struggle with the on-air programming. I haven't been able to watch my on-air. I'll pull up my phone on Sling app and I'll open, and so some would say it's your router. I have a decent router. I think it's an AC like 2700 or something. I haven't had the money to upgrade like up to a 5400 or something like that can really handle it or something. I know there's some little tower, little Wi-Fi domes you can put for like $20 in each room. I can't remember the name of that one. I guess that was pretty good, but I don't know the speeds on those, and I haven't seen enough reviews in an aspect of that where they're not trying to sell it to you. A lot of times we see that, so they become kind of biased to the product. Sometimes they're not. But I'm struggling, I think, probably with some Wi-Fi issues, because I try to fire up. like Me TV, and I want to watch some of it, and it just sits there and just spins. And I've tried it here in the dining room, the living room, the kitchen, upstairs, and every room, and we know certain things are aspect of that. Have some of you tried the T-Mobile mobile option at home for like $50? What's been your experience with that like? I know it all varies from speeds to speeds, but that was something. I'm also in my introductory first year with Spectrum again, so usually I find that those speeds kind of come down a little when you're trying to run that. I mean, maybe you've got a different setup for your on-demand. I'm just not having very much luck being able to watch my locals. I almost want to just go back, unhook it, have the antenna, but then having the struggle to run, or not really the struggle, but just more wiring going up the building. And you could hide it and it takes work, or put it inside with a small drill hole and put a little paneling piece on it. I know there's a lot of solutions to this instead of that option, and I was trying not to buy a lot of extra televisions right now. I've been pretty much taking this phone pretty much to every room, and I can broadcast a lot of the other channels, no problem. I don't know if any of you have had a good positive experience with the AirTV Anywhere. I was hoping it would help. I know someone let their father use their login, and he was able to like watch the locals, but whenever he'd unplug it, he'd get the phone call from her going, it doesn't work. So I don't know. I had my brother try it out, but I'm not getting a lot of feedback from that. I just know me personally using it right here in my own home where it's located. I'm just getting the spinning wheel of death, if you will, and I'm not having a lot of luck on those sides of those aspects. As well. The raid first section of that, the 18 triangle boss, Terra Grow, I think was one of the ones I was trying to talk about as well. Working on the Isle of Jailer with your grapple, I was doing some of that. Boy, that took awful lot of time. I kindly went back and finally tidied up a couple of little pieces with that as well. What was that? The 9 signet pieces. Kira, Skyja, Kandron. Yeah, it was just a few other little aspects that I was trying to tidy up as well that I just wanted to touch on. And again, I've only done that this past week. I literally got in Tuesday for like an hour or two. Oh, last week I did finally got into the corridors of Torghast, the extended ones. I had gone the 18 levels, but now that so many have already kind of done that, I was going to do level 2 because at the end of it you get a mount, and I'm not really finding people to do it. Of course, I may have jumped in on a time when there isn't anyone. I know a lot of people are kind of leaving because of this chaos right now, but it was something that I was at least trying to look into and at least do the dailies, because like I said, I hit my item level. And if you're wondering why my main here is sitting here with her fishing rod and her fishing hat, well, I finally had a little downtime when I was just having something on in the background the other day. I've been so busy, and it was probably the first time in a long time I had a little bit of just me time. And that's what I said when I mentioned I got on the legacy cabinets, did that. But prior to that, I actually logged in and I just flew in Bastion to a little area of very peaceful water. I'll show you where I logged in. We're going to be getting into calendar shortly anyway. A lot of this talk is going to be leading up into where our calendar's at. But I'll show you. I ended up getting it almost to 200. It has a plus 20 on it. So you can see here, I'll open the map up so you actually see where I flew. Right in this little piece of water strip is where I came to. And I wanted to show you really quick. I was tidying up a few loose ends, and I'm going, my fishing was only like, I don't know, like 5 or 8 or something. I never really had spent the time on it. And of course, it would have helped with my cooking, but sorry, I had brunch early. Usually we do our weekend update and then we do it, but because of the is it the 40th anniversary of Star Trek this weekend? I think I had the first 4 movies on yesterday on Epix Drive-In, and then 5 and 6 have been on a little bit this morning, so I was doing a little bit of that while I was tidying up, and I ended up doing brunch a little bit earlier. And lately I've been also moving it back because I was trying to enjoy some Flintstones. And if you see suddenly the camera shaking, Mora is rubbing. She's rubbing the laptop monitor over here. I'm trying to get her head off of it. So yes, and that's if you're watching right now. One of my gals I know, where I have that's the text sound for you. She just sent me a text while usually I have my phone on silent so nothing happens. So a quick shout out to you and your mom. Hope you guys are holding up all right over there. But I think we're gonna get into calendar. I was gonna tidy that up. I'm literally still 20 points. You can see here I got 180 plus 20. I know you'll get the achievement when you hit 200. I may at some point. If I knew I might be doing something else, I might have a little downtime to fish somewhere. I know there's not a ton of water around, usually on where the major areas I had gone to were. So I'm just worried. I'm sorry. My apologies for that scream. I knew she was going to do that. I was trying to prep for that, if there was a way to have muted that. She likes to scratch at the beautiful arcade machine screens and put her paws on it and ruin it. And I try to keep her claws trimmed, but I used to have these little plastic bins that I would put on top of it, and then she'd go like this on the plastic. And it would rattle because it was like an old screen. I've had a couple of those screens replaced with Arcade 1-Up. Now they're not sending out as many to help, but I do have a couple of light up marquees that came with the Legacy. I'm saddened that the Mortal Kombat 2 Legacy 1 didn't come with a light up. They did release a unit that had it for the same darn price, and I tried to contact them and they wouldn't send me a light up marquee. I would have had to pay for it separately, which is odd because the light up marquee version was the exact same amount. And then someone would say, well, then I wouldn't have assembled it, but I already had it assembled before I could find one. And so we'll have to kind of see how that unfolds at this point. So I think with that, we're going to, and it's a bit of a rainy day outside here too. So I think with that, we're going to kind of wrap this up. We got into our calendar today really quick. And let's see here. We have Arena Skirmish bonuses going on. That's wrapping up on the 27th. PvP Brawl for you PvPers. Deep 6. Sanctum Domination, the next tier, will get underway. The Arena Skirmish bonus, as I had mentioned, that's ending this week. World Quest bonus, that's beginning. PvP Brawl, Arathi, Blizzard is going to be beginning. And then, of course, the Deep 6, as I mentioned, that ends as well. And we've got the Micro Holiday Corn Tour Tavern Crawl coming up at the tail end. And this time next week is when the Dark Moon Fair will be underway again. And soon after that will be somebody's B-Day coming up. Yeah, I've already ordered a little small item, even though I'm really strapped right now and think I'm about to lose like a third of my income. It's a chaotic mess on my end. I'm going to kind of leave it at that. We'll leave this with what you will. I will still be here next week. We will be getting on with our guildies that I'm aware of still tomorrow. And we'll see that I'm sure we'll probably have a discussion about this tomorrow as well. And then I think we'll kind of leave it there. We're going to wrap this up. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for listening to my commentary about this. However you're going to feel about it, I'm sure it's going to be very affecting for some time to come. We see this, especially as a small game programmer myself. I mean, I've struggled with the privacy policies as well. I know they were having some privacy policies statements going out with a hotline or phone number or something, and I was trying to do that, and then they took my game down off of Android because the privacy policy wasn't updated, and I'd updated it and showed them where it was updated, speaking of that kind of stuff. And then we've been fighting with iOS side to get it on there, and I've tried Steam and I've tried Nintendo, and they put they put in these poor small independent people in just chaos, and it's costing me money, and I just don't have the money anymore. I have to kind of pull back for a while and not do a lot of things that are money involved for some time. I need some time now. This is another point in my life where I need to kind of put money aside, if you will, and just kind of play the catch-up game for the next few years. Sadly, it's another catch-up point in my life where I have to kind of pull back from that, and I can't really go out. It's complicated. I think with that, we'll leave it there. Have a good week. Take some things how you want to contemplate through this chaos going on with Blizzard right now / Activision. Call me in the morning. And once again, I think we will see you later.